And these so-called Negro leaders are such geniuses that they can integrate white restaurants and integrate white factories and force themselves into that which the white man has set up. They should use this same ingenuity to show the black people how to pool our wealth and set up something of our own. And then we won't have to force our way into his anymore. One more thing I would like to point out.
Yeah, but y'all, I just talked to Yvonne. I don't think we'll do that trip up to Pittsburgh, man.
That's okay. Makes sense. Yeah, the most not coming till Monday anyhow.
Couple dollars. Baby, holla with it, holla. Hey. Fuck what them niggas talking about. Yeah. Hey. Go.
All right, we're gonna get ready to start. Sorry, we're gonna start. Get all that. And we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. What's up, y'all? It's your main man, Jay Sands. Sands on Sports, hip hop and sports entertainment at its finest. That's right, y'all. The big kid is at it again. And I've been saying it the whole season. This is season 5, and this is the first hip hop sports podcast started in 2008. I interviewed Royce the 5'9" here in Baltimore at the Sonar, and we still knocking them out right now. You know what I mean? So big up the longevity. And this is episode 98. And what I like to do is I like to, here go Los right here. I like to make the episode go along with the number. So I like to find a sports player who wore number 98. I just didn't do any research, so I'm gonna do a quick Google right now. Famous jersey 98. Who we got? Jesse Armstead? Nah. This is the wow, there's been a lot of 98s. I'm gonna go with Sam Adams. Sam Adams used to play for the Redskins. I remember Andy played for the Rams. So this is the Sam Adams episode of Sands on Sports. And we have some returning guests, some veterans who've been on the show before. We have my man from the Nike Boys, Carlos Peterson. Los, what's going on, baby?
What's up, Sands? Glad to be here, man.
Hey, man, thank you for the time. And we have also returning my uncle, John Laymon. How you doing, Uncle John?
All right, how you doing there, nephew?
All right, man, we're going to get into it, man. Does anybody have any declarations, anything important to say, before we start?
Michael Jackson Day.
Today is Michael Jackson Day?
He was born today.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, the king. Big up Michael Jackson. It's definitely a holiday. Well, basically, what we like to do is find guests that make sense. And this guest that I have today makes sense because I lived in Ohio when Pitt was in the Big East. I was in high school in Ohio. So when you're not where you were born at, and you start missing home, you start finding things to attach to. And one of the things I attached myself to was the Pitt basketball team in the late 80s. I could probably still name the starting 5: Sean Miller, Jason Matthews, Darelle Porter, Charles Smith, and Jerome Lang. You ain't even got to ask me no question. I know all about that starting 5 in that team. So today we have a special guest from my hometown, Pittsburgh, Darelle Porter. Darelle, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to talk.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, man, I've been a big fan for so long, man. I seen you around the hood all the time, doing what you do. And man, it just feels good to give you some flowers, Let's give Dap some flowers today, you feel me? So
I definitely appreciate it.
Oh, ain't no problem, man. So I know who you are, but what I like to do for everybody that comes on the show is ask them to give a 20-second bio about themselves, just to let everybody know who we're dealing with.
Okay, well, my name is Darelle Porter, born and raised in Pittsburgh. Was lucky enough to have a scholarship at the University of Pittsburgh for basketball back when the Big East was the best league in the world. And then after playing at Pitt, I played a couple years pro ball and then went into college coaching for 10 years. And now I run a nonprofit organization that works with inner city youth. Mm-hmm.
Just doing God's work. I appreciate that. what are your favorite teams starting with football?
Well, I'm a hometowner. I love anything from Pittsburgh, so the Steelers, Pitt Panthers. And when I grew up, we were the city of champions. So
Yeah.
you had Tony Dorsett winning national championships, and then Terry Bradshaw winning Super Bowls. I grew up in a very nice era for sports.
Got you. What about baseball? I mean, I already know the answers, but I want to ask just to ask. What's your favorite baseball team?
Favorite baseball team, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No doubt.
I was a youth. They were winning World Series. We were the city champions.
Hey, what do you remember most about 1979?
1979, we are family.
Yeah.
Willie Stargell with his distinct batting stance and the way he did his little routine before taking a pitch. Every kid in Pittsburgh knew how to bat like Willie Stargell back in those days.
Yeah, definitely. And I always tell cats, man, don't tell me you was down in Manchester if you ain't played with Dave Parker's nieces and nephews back in the day, cause I definitely they stayed down the street from my Aunt Kate.
The Cobra.
Yeah, Dave Parker, no doubt. And what about hockey? You in the hockey? You got a favorite hockey squad?
Well, once again, I'm just gonna have to stay to Pittsburgh.
It's a Pittsburgh sweep.
I was lucky enough to grow up and watch Darelle and Mew turn our franchise around, and they won a couple championships, and then we had Yarmer Yager and so many other guys. Now we got Sid the Kid. So we had a nice run of players, and we've been consistently making the playoffs. So I even watch a little hockey from time to time.
Who are we picking? Are we picking, and I'm asking everybody this, who are we picking? Are we picking Sid or Mario?
Well, I have to pick Mario because he started it off.
Yeah, okay.
And then he purchased the team to keep him in Pittsburgh, so we're still here.
That was big. What about you, Los?
Hey, man, I don't know. Between Sid, Yammer, and Mario, I mean, Mario sets it off. He's the original G to me. So I'm going to have to go with Mario.
Got you. What about you, Uncle John?
I like Sid, because Sid seems to be more talented than any of them that I've seen.
Yeah.
And they're all great now. They're all great.
All great. They're all great, man. Great athletes. And Darelle, what sports did you play? I mean, I know, but what sports did you play growing up in Pittsburgh?
Well, I was a multi-sport guy, so I played baseball, basketball, and football, and then I did track and field. So
wow,
I was busy all year. I was started my track career. They had these games called the Jesse Owens games, Arco, Jesse Owens games, Arco. Like Housing Authority is today, or Urban League. They kind of sponsored it. And at the age of 9, I won the long jump in Pittsburgh and was able to go to California, out to LA to compete in the national. Came in 5th place, but more importantly, I got to see Carl Lewis and people who were top-notch Olympians. And then it motivated me to work hard because they all had similar messages. And the one thing that was common in the message was you gotta be willing to work harder than anybody else. So I had a good work ethic from a young age.
Got you. Did you ever do the punt, pass, and kick up there at PV field back in the day?
I won the punt, pass, and kick.
Okay.
So I was a pretty good athlete. And then when I went to Three River Stadium to get somewhere else, some kid from Du Bois this time, he had a mustache and everything. I'm like, man, I don't know if he's 11. Somebody beat me. I was able to at least make it to Three River Stadium.
Got you. Shout out to my brother. I never did the punt, pass, and kicks. My brother used to do those things. He used to win those trophies, have trophies for those things back in the day, too. I
actually was a punter and kicker for Perry.
Okay.
And used those skills a little bit later on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this is a section that we have back when I played, and I'm hoping that you could throw my man Baldy in here. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
That's my main man. So if you got a Baldy Dap story of back when you played, man, can you please share that with us?
Well, I can tell you this. Me and Baldy got together this weekend, and we were sharing different stories. Okay, and so the one story that we both remembered the same way was a guy named Mr. Reg up in Northview Heights, Mr. Reggie Ward.
Reggie Ward.
We used to always
I know Reggie.
Bring guys up to Northview to show those kids that they still need to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had Baldy, his son Earl, and then I was on the team, and we beat everybody our age, and then we beat everybody older than us too. So he was letting them know that these young boys was going to be good in the future. So he established that we was going to be big time before we even knew we was big time.
So you talking about my man Earl Ward?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Shout out to Feeney, RP Feeney Friday.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Hey, I gotta share this Dap story, man.
Please.
Since this is back when I played. So I played for Langley, Dap played for Perry. I was a young guy. I was only in the 10th grade when Dap was a senior, and Gip was the senior. He was the lead on Langley's team. So I kept hearing about this guy, Dap. Never met him. So we played, it was an after school game, 3:00 game of Langley. So I remember Dap he picked somebody's pocket at half court. He got a steal at half court. So it's a breakaway layup. Now, everybody that's seen the dunk where you by yourself, you throw it off the glass, you catch it off the glass and dunk it, right? Everybody's seen that. But in the game, Dap, he didn't do that. He bounced the ball off the court. It hit the court, bounced up, hit the glass, and then he caught it and dunked it in a game. And I was in the 10th grade. I was watching. I'm like, oh, shit. That dude is the truth. And that was my introduction to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. One of the things that motivated you in high school is when you go to other places and they would say how good you weren't. And then after the game, they could kind of change their opinion of you.
Yes, sir.
I had a couple dunks that I would do that I knew I practiced them so much I could do it in the game if everything worked out good and I had space. One of them was that I used to do this little thing I saw David Wingate do, and then I had another one that David Thompson did. So I practiced them so much that in the game, I knew I could make them. But normally you don't see people do those type of dunks in games because they're scared they're going to miss. But since I practiced them so much, I pretty much could make them all the time.
All right. Well, we have a long lens from my uncle to Los to all of us. Who is the best dunker to come out of North? I done heard Hightower. I done heard Richardson. Who's the best dunker to come out of Northside?
Well, dunker, that's no doubt. Larry was no dunker. That's Ronnie.
Okay, Ronnie Hightower?
Yeah. I'll tell you a story about Ronnie. I played for the University of New Hampshire, okay? And we were in the Yankee Conference. And the Yankee Conference was, UNH, all the New England schools in UMass. Well, UMass had a guy by the name of Dr. J, who we played against in our conference. So my friend Dave could play from New York, top 10 in the country in field goal percentage and rebounding. So I took him up Northview Heights, with little Larry, myself, Gene Turner, Ronnie Hightower, all the dudes from back then. And man, after the game, he said Ronnie was as good as Dr. J. And Dr. J said Dave was the toughest dude he played with ever. But yeah, Ronnie had all the skills. I mean, he could play guard, but he could dunk, Yeah. But Larry did everything, I mean, if I had to pick a player, I'm going to take Larry.
Okay, got you.
Not dunking, though. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's that. Hey, that's it. Shout out to Goob. Shout out to Goob. You know what I mean?
You talking about
yeah.
Larry
Oh, yeah.
Richardson?
Yeah, shout out to Goob. Yeah. Well, hey, y'all hear this sound? This means we are going out of the first quarter and we are headed into the second quarter. Now, gentlemen, this is what I've been waiting for, man. I want to have a Steelers preview right now. Because look here, I'm in Baltimore. Man, they've been on my back all week. They've been on my back. Yeah, man. So I want to ask you, and they just had cuts today too. So, so what do you guys think the Steelers are going to do this year?
Man, they're going to shock a lot of people.
Okay.
Well, a lot of them are going to get shocked. Now they see that we're a little better than they thought.
Yeah.
We may not shock them as much because they're seeing some good stuff so far.
Yeah. I'm hearing that like usually you could spot a weakness or where where the depth is kind of thin, but they're saying there's really not too many holes in the Steelers. Maybe quarterback, that might be the only thing. And I like Kenny Ballgame. So and maybe DB, like they're going to put a lot of pressure on Porter this year to make some plays as well. But the Steelers look solid to me.
Yeah, and what I'm reading too, as a team, they're coming together more. They brought some veterans in that are, teaching the young dudes a lot and vice versa. And it sounds like they're acting more like guys that are together as a team.
Gotcha.
I saw at the beginning of the year, ESPN ranked us 8th in the AFC power rankings. But after watching the preseason, I think we might be a little bit better than 8th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Going to surprise a lot of people, man. Going to surprise a lot of people. What do you expect us as Steelers to do this year, Dap?
Well, I'm a diehard Steeler fan. I want them to go one game over 500, make the playoffs, and then you can wake me up.
Yeah, okay. You said the playoffs. You ready for the playoffs to start?
Yeah.
Oh, we gonna do that.
I believe that we got what it takes to be a playoff team, and that we got some really good weapons on offense and defense. And the defense, we know when Watson is healthy, we win. So if he stays healthy, then we make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's telling that our first round draft pick isn't even starting, and we always kind of had a little problem with the O-line. So it seems like our O-line is going to be strong this year.
Yeah, because they're happy with the rookie. The other guy stepped up. So, hey. Yeah. But they so happy they picked him number one.
Yeah. Hey, we can even talk about the punter. They kept 2 punters this year. So we got 2 punters on the team this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they kept 2 this year.
Well, and the young boy, Austin, who didn't play last year, he showed up in preseason this year.
Fast, super fast.
Yeah. Yep.
How long will it go before we hear Fire Tomlin? Because we always hear Fire Tomlin.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So what, week 1, week 2, we're going to hear that?
Yes, as soon as we're behind in the game, that's all.
Yeah.
And like I said, he went from number 3 coach to number 2 coach ahead of Belichick now. Yeah. And they still going to be talking that stuff.
Yeah.
That's because expectations in Pittsburgh are high, man. We die hard. It's Super Bowl or nothing for us.
Yeah. And people outside of Pittsburgh, they have so much higher respect for Mike Tomlin than the people actually in Pittsburgh. Like if you down here, I wish we had Tomlin instead of Harbaugh. You hear it all the time.
Yeah.
As far as other cities wishing they had Mike Tomlin as a coach.
Well, the key is players and other coaches love him.
Yeah.
Players want to coach.
Hey, Dap, I got a question for you, man.
Okay.
I've been paying attention on social media. I seen you brought Ozenham back.
Yeah, so we started it back.
On that?
We're celebrating our 55th year this year. And so we have some shoes out with the 55th anniversary logo on there. This year we had about 50 teams in our summer league. We had 3 sites. We had Max down in Manchester, Edmonds on the Hill, and Kingsley out the east. And so we had divisions 10 and under, 12 and under, 14 and under, high school boys and high school girls. So anybody wanted to play, they had an opportunity to play.
I want to hit you up. I want to get a pair of them shoes. I'm just gonna put them up in the box.
Yeah, them O's in there.
Yeah,
Matter of fact,
I got them on now. They're comfortable.
Who made the shoes?
I ordered them from Korea.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
so I got them at a good rate. We're selling them for $55 because it's our 55th anniversary.
Yeah.
Everybody, we haven't got one complaint. We had our referees wear them this year. Kids wear them, and not nobody blew a shoe or anything. They're really, really well made and comfortable.
All right, how do I get a pair?
Well, you just need to let me know what size you wear, because right now, when I was up at summer camp every day, I had some up at the gym. Now I got them in storage on the north side, so if somebody want one, I just have to go over there and get them, because I don't want all these shoes just hanging around. So I got it all stored.
Well, since I'm in Philly now, I'm gonna have Wiz hit you up and get a pair for me.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
All right.
They're nice. And so anyway, with our league, it's established again. We had some of the better players in Pittsburgh playing it over the last couple of years. Those kids are getting recruited. Got a couple kids, top 100, the league's top 5. So we got some definite future ballers here, because they've been able to play basketball their whole life if they want to, from 10 and under all the way up. And so they're giving them an opportunity to play. We all know this is a football town.
Yeah.
So most of our kids, they playing football at 5, 6 years old. The ones who hold out and hoop, then, I could get them at 8. And we've been doing a good job just having them be able to compete against better players, and it's been making everybody better.
That's real. That's real, man. Well, hey, check this out. Y'all hear that sound? That sound means we are exiting the second quarter and we're going into halftime. And fellas, we all got a little gray in our beard, man. So what I want to talk about during halftime is it's each one of you, if you can give us a tip about what you do to stay healthy. Like men's health is probably real important. They're talking about COVID's coming back in the winter. So like for me, I like to do cardio. I like to get on the bike, get 2-3 miles in, and you know what I mean? And that's what I like to do. What do you guys like to do, again, to stay healthy so we can stay here?
Well, I can tell you a couple things that I do. I drink a lot of water, and then I do a lot of walking. So that's my 2 things. Now, obviously, I know a lot better than I do, and so I could probably eat healthier and do some things that way, but I'm at least drinking a lot of water and walking to stay exercising.
You got a gallon jug?
Oh, yeah, I got a gallon. I got one of those things to be like, all right, good morning. All right, it's lunchtime. Almost there. This is and that. It gives you a nice little rundown of where you should be during the day. And then I also go to the bathroom a lot. So that's part of drinking a lot of water.
That definitely comes with drinking a lot of water. And Uncle John, what are some of the things you're doing to stay on your toes?
Man, you know my situation. I can't even stand. I walk around with crutches and not crutches, but canes. I got wheelchairs, but I've had some issues with both my knee replacements, 2 rotator cuff, blood clot, a lot of things. And I'm 73 years old, and I've never in the hospital in my life till I turned 60. Yeah. And I had a lot of issues. This year's been real bad because I'm not able to walk yet. The main thing is, health-wise, number one, I say see your doctor regularly, Yeah. And I'm on the flip side where I'm having a lot of issues, pain and so forth. Just keep a positive attitude, no matter what your situation is. And I see a lot of guys going for some serious surgery, some go up, some go down, The other thing I say is see your doctor regularly to find out, make sure the first thing is to know what's wrong, then they know what to do about it for the most part. But keep a positive attitude, no matter how bad, like my situation is, where I can't walk, I can't play golf, I can't do a lot of things, but I'm still going to try to get back
Yeah. Oh, okay. And what about you, Los?
Man, I do a few things a little alternative. So every Saturday morning, brother, I go to yoga like clockwork. I've been doing it for maybe the last year and a half. It's the best thing I ever did, man, because it just helps me stay flexible.
Yeah.
And after yoga, I go to acupuncture. I do that religiously every Saturday.
Ooh.
And I tell you, it's like the best thing I ever did, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, y'all. Well, hey, don't say Sands on Sports isn't trying to help you live longer, because we giving y'all the tips on how to stay on your feet. And you hear the sound, that means we're going out of halftime and we are headed into the third quarter. Now, Dad, this is something me and my Uncle John, I think you had me call the news station to try to find the footage. Because Dad has the best tip dunk I ever saw in my life.
Did.
Against Georgetown in the yellow pit uniforms. Yeah, where's the footage?
I have the footage.
Oh,
Man, put that on YouTube or something.
Jumped over his own players.
He jumped over. He was like he was like Superman.
He's like 45 degrees or something like that, almost parallel to the ground.
Oh man, I remember.
Yeah.
Dad, what do you remember about that dunk, man? I think about that dunk a lot, brother.
Well, the thing that I remember about the dunk is I was able to keep my balance.
Yeah.
We're playing at Madison Square Garden, and at the NBA arenas, the backboard is higher up towards the hoop.
Okay.
In college, it was down a little bit. And so I hit my head off the bottom of the backboard when I got that dunk. So, but that actually helped me fall and get my balance when I came down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost were onto the floor. You know, you were just leaning over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I was just amazed that I came down on balance because I thought I was going to fall.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you kind of get that little, I wanted to probably smile and everything, but you kind of get that little look on your face like you meant to do it or you mean. So I wouldn't be smiling on TV so much.
Yeah.
Look, guess what I got for you guys? I got something for you guys. Hold on. I gotta see how I do this. Okay, hold on. Watch this. I'm at home now.
Oh, okay.
See those shoes?
Oh, it's the shoes. Oh, okay. It's nice.
That's awesome.
Purple and gold. And these are the 55.
Oh yeah, I need a pair of those.
So,
yeah, we were rocking them in Baltimore.
you got the little LZ on the tip. So yeah, since y'all mentioned it, I was like, let me show these bad boys off while I'm at home.
What was it like I mean, I'm sure you had other offers. Matter of fact, you could have went to school to play football, so you had tons of offers, but you stayed home. What was it like going to Pitt?
Right. Well, one of the things was I grew up loving Pitt, so I wanted to go to Pitt before I even knew I could play. And basically, the time that I got there, Pitt was just getting good. The Big East was becoming a power conference, and everything was set up for me, and I'm at home. And so, I mean, I had an easy transition. You know, they always talk about the City League. Academics in this, I did well my freshman year academically. I got 41 credits. I mean, I had such a smooth transition because I could go home for Sunday meals. I could go wash my clothes. I had a lot of perks of staying at home.
You still keep in touch with any of them guys from that team?
Oh yeah, I'm in touch with all of them. We have a monthly Zoom call where we all just keep each other updated on what's going on. And so Part of a couple of guys on some of those teams passed, so I'm not sure if you guys know. Rob Brooken passed,
Demetrius.
and Demetrius Gore had passed. So
Okay.
we
R.I.P.
definitely got together. Yeah, we
Yeah, I was
definitely
thinking
got together for them.
You used to run around. I used to run around with Demetrius, man. Him and my cousin Jock kind of look the same a little bit. Jock, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Demetrius was a good dude, man. Detroit,
Right.
though.
Yeah, I was thinking about Jason Matthews today because he's down there in Tampa. Like, did he leave town? Did he leave town? Do you know that?
He's in Tampa still.
I know, but did he leave town? Did he leave town for the hurricane? Do you know? Or
I'm not sure. Yeah, that hurricane stuff. They get that nice weather, but hurricane season, you got to be careful.
Oh yeah. And he's right around it. I've been to his house. He lives right a few blocks from you've been there, from Tampa Stadium. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I hope he left town for at least for now.
Yeah, me too. That stuff is you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
So the Pitt turnaround, it started with Curtis Aiken, right? That's who kind of turned the program.
I think that Charles Smith probably. Curtis Aiken was the first McDonald All-American that Pitt ever signed. Mm-hmm. So then after that, they piggybacked into Charles Smith. And the next year, Jerome Lane. And the next year, us. So it was like a boom, boom, boom. Curtis probably started off, and then Charles and Jerome put the name back on the map.
Yeah.
And we won a lot of games with those guys.
Yeah.
We had pros on our team. We had lottery picks.
Yeah, that's when the Big East was bad. But Billy Knight was tough back in his day too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Billy Knight. He's one of the most underrated professional and college players I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, they made it to the Elite Eight though. I know my little Pitt history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was the Big East? Because the Big East, you had Sherman Douglas, you had Derek Coleman, you had. It was after Pat Ewing, but you had some ballers, man. Allen Iverson. What was it like being in the Big?
Let me tell you, every team had a lottery pick on them.
Yeah.
The worst team in the league had a pro or two.
Yeah.
So that's how tough the league was. Like, Boston College was maybe one of the lesser teams then, but they had Dana Barrow.
Dana Barrow, she's a light show.
Connecticut wasn't that tough, but they had Cliff Robinson.
Yes, R.I.P. Cliff.
Providence, they had Billy Donovan and Delray Brooks. And, the list goes on and on. Like, you might ain't know how good those teams were, but they were loaded. Mm-hmm. And then, the Sherman Douglases and Derek Coleman, Ronnie Cycli, you could name all those guys, Kimbe and Alonzo.
Stevie Thompson.
Man, you get the name of some of those guys, you're like, wow.
Stevie Thompson.
I kind of played. Yeah, Stevie Thompson was an athlete, the Lord.
Yeah.
And then, Jason Williams played for St. John. Everybody has somebody.
Yeah.
With no easy nights.
Yeah.
Wow.
No easy nights in the Big East.
Not at all. And now they got the transfer portal. Would you have taken advantage of that transfer portal the way they're taking advantage of it now if when you were playing?
Well,
and you're getting NIL money too to go along with it too.
Getting a little NIL money, it just wasn't called NIL back then.
It was called under the table money.
Yeah, it was. Pitt had a nice little system set up where you could work during the summer, but they paid you a lot, and then you got that little installments of your summer money all year to pay for your bills and different things. But I really think that back when we played, we were more mentally tough, and then people was willing to wait their turn to play. And now, if a guy don't play, they leave in that year. You're like, you might be starting the next year. Mm-hmm. Or some guys be starting and leave. I'm like, it's just a different atmosphere. It's different to coach the kids. I don't even like some of the stuff that our coaches did back then. It's not allowed. Number one, right now,
Yeah.
but number two, we practice 3 hours a day. Now it's like you only can practice so many hours. You got to take a day off. We never took a day off. We was begging for a day. I'm like, Charles, why don't you call? Why don't you the captain? Why don't you in the Olympics and everything? Can we get a day off?
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Hey, Dap, I can't let this go without asking you to give a little homage to your high school coach, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Franklin.
Yeah. Charles Franklin was a character builder. He was eliminator of excuses. He didn't give you no excuse. It didn't matter where you came from, whatever. He said, if you do what I asked you to do, you're going to make it. So he was able to develop young men into men. And that's why all these years later, we still love him. He sacrificed a lot of his time. Like, he is like, man, I can have a Cadillac, but I got a caravan driving you dudes around. And so he sacrificed a lot, and then he really taught us about life through basketball. And I don't think you get too many coaches who care that much about you. And that's why all these years later, we still tight with him. I saw him this summer. I couldn't wait to give him another Oznell shirt and the shoes. Here, coach, because he meant so much to me. And I tell people, the reason I'm a teacher now is because I wanted to be like him when I was younger. He was a role model for a lot of kids in the inner city, and he was like a magnet. He just attracted people. And then he was a father figure. He was a guidance counselor. He was everything in one. And you don't get too many people like him. So I'm glad I got a chance to play for him. And we won a lot of games too.
That's great. That's great. Well, hey, you hear the sound? That means the third quarter is over. We're about to go in the fourth quarter and get the hell out of here. And I'm going to stick with coaching because, man, you were a D1 coach, man.
Right.
At home again. You're doing it. Man, you've done so much in Pittsburgh, man. So what was it like being a D1 coach? As a matter of fact, before we even go into your coaching, I don't know if everybody saw the high school coach who punched his player in the stomach. That's the big topic. One of the coaches, he got suspended. He punched. It was during the game. He was going at the player, and he hit him with a little rabbit punch in the gut, and he got fired and arrested. And I remember, in the 80s and 90s, man, coaches would kick you in the ass, grab your face mask, and it's changed now. Is that for the better?
Changed. I think some things are for the better. For example, when I was younger, we played on the concrete. The blacktop, you got to be tough, this and that. Now we play indoors on the wood because it's better for you. So we're more educated now.
Okay.
When I was younger, my uncle would be like, "You just seeing stars." He hit me in my helmet again. I'm seeing stars, and it was like, "All right, shake it off." So you played tough, but was that the best?
Yeah.
Something like that. They will send you to jail. Like, you got a concussion. What you doing hitting that boy? And so, but we're more educated now than we were in the 70s with modern medicine and different things. So it's hard to compare what you should do because things are so different now. Because I didn't think nothing was wrong with what happened when I was in school. But now, looking back at it, if somebody did that to my daughter or whatever, I would have issues.
Yeah.
I would have been up there like, what the hell going on?
Yeah.
And so it kind of changed over the years.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I agree with that. And there was a basketball play. I guess they're having the World Championships in basketball, and one of the guys said that the World Championship is more important or more special than the NBA Championship because you're playing talent around the world, and the NBA players wasn't having that. KD, all them dudes, they was like,
right.
Crazy.
Yeah, all those guys is people who didn't win NBA championships, so it's more important for them to try to win that. They actually have a chance.
Yeah.
So, back when I was younger, college kids actually played against the pros overseas.
Yeah.
And then as they got better, they beat, when Charles Smith was in the Olympics, they came in third place. They didn't win. Like, that was the first time they didn't win since like the 60s on some fluke. And then it was like, oh, you know what? We lost. 92 Dream Team, let's go. And they beat everybody by 40. And then the whole world got to see how good we were. And then they raised their bar. So there's some nice players. The last 4 or 5 years have been all foreigners getting MVP in the NBA. Joker, Freak. And so people can play everywhere now. Yeah. And not just in the good old US of A.
Exactly. Joker's nice. I didn't get hip to the Joker till the playoffs this year. I've always heard about him. The Joker this, Joker that. I watched him this year and played the Joker. He's the real deal.
So I'm telling my son, I said, man, the Joker got game. He's like, yeah. And I said, all he is y'all version of Larry Bird. Larry Bird used to do that same stuff, but better. He's like, you can pass? I said, yeah, he can do all that. So then I show him some films of Larry Legend, and he's like, oh yeah, he's nice. But the young kids, they don't think nobody could play back in the 1900s. We too old.
Yeah.
But he's a modern day Larry Bird. Can't jump, not fast, but can play and as smart as a whip and beat you with his brain instead of natural building.
When you coached, did you coach Jack Higgins?
I didn't coach Jack Higgins, but I coached Derek Alston. He was a pro. I coached Mike James. He was a pro.
Okay, yeah, Mike James.
Yeah, I coached Kevin Price and a couple other guys from the city, Courtney Wallace. So we had some talent, but the one thing about Duquesne is, they had a lot of success in the 70s, and the people who were running it was still thinking it was the 70s. I'm like, these kids growing up right now, they don't know who Norm Nixon is. They don't know who Saigo Green is. I know we were good, but it's like a different thing. And then our academics was just high enough where the best kids couldn't get in because they ain't have it. And then the ones who were good enough to get in our school, they probably went to Georgia Tech or Stanford. Like, we was competing against academics and athletics. So it was a little bit harder. And, coaching is one of the first things that hard work don't necessarily mean you're going to have good results. So I was out working people, throwing stuff. I'm driving here. I'm in Canada. I'm doing this. I'm recruiting this and that. Next thing you know, Providence don't get somebody. They offer the kid go to the Big East. I lose them.
Yeah.
I recruited Chevy Troutman from Pitt for like 3 years. And I was almost sleeping at his house. I was up Williamsport so much. Then Pitt offered him. He took that. It was like a little bit bigger. Yeah. So sometimes a player or two can make a big difference. And then working hard, college coaching doesn't mean that you didn't work hard. Yeah. So you can put in the work. You can put in everything. You can outwork people and still lose out. Yeah. And not to mention, before NIL, some people was doing NIL. They was getting players, and it was like, ain't nothing I can do about that. Yeah. Because, I worked under a priest. So he had to do stuff the right way. And they were like, look, everybody in the country want to come to this school. We got a waiting list, 10,000 kids deep. They should want to come here. And I'm like, I know you think that, but the best athletes don't think that way. So it was like a catch-22, and really there hasn't been no success there since we were in the NIT back in '92, I think, when I was assistant coach. But since then, I don't even know if we made postseason. It's just difficult to win when basketball is your best sport. Yeah. Because the other teams bring in more money. They got a football team. It's just a little bit different. Some teams like Xavier were able to do it. Yeah. But they had different admissions. They had special programs to get people in and then say if I get a kid to sit out, back when I was coaching, say it cost $30,000. Well, I could get him 15, 20 worth of money, but who got $10,000 to pay? And then you had to have that bill paid to even register for the next year. It was just some unseen things that people don't know about. So it doesn't mean that whoever's coaching them, they're not working hard. They're working as hard as anybody, but sometimes hard work don't necessarily mean you have good results.
Yeah. Well, Dap, I remember after you left, all of a sudden the floodgates opened with money.
Right, and guess what? They still ain't win.
Yeah, I know, but at least, like they didn't treat you right, is what I'm saying, man. You know.
Right. No,
the next coach.
I tried to get a fax machine. They was like, well, if you get a fax machine, the girls gotta get a fax machine. Y'all can just both use the one in the athletic team. I'm like, man, I can't even get a fax machine. But it was just the people there. They was just looking at stuff business wise, like we're cool, and they should want to come. That's a good way of looking at it, but that's not a good way to be competitive in college athletics.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll coach college basketball again?
My window for coaching college basketball passed last year.
Okay.
I was committed to follow my kids through college.
Okay.
And then 2 years ago with COVID, my daughter's senior year, she got an extra year. So that would have been the year I could have went back into coaching. So then I watched her. She had a great year. She went and played in Portugal. I went and followed her over there. Now she just landed in Iceland today. I'm following her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend my time because I know what a time commitment it is to coach in college. And really, their players become your kids because if something happened, no matter what time it is, you got to go fix the problem.
Yeah.
And now my time is more important. I can do good work with those now. I can do some different things I want. And then if I want basketball, I can go to Pitt. I can go to Kentucky. I can go to Xavier, watch practices, be part of it, and then leave. And so I got the best of both worlds now. I've been helping the kids from Pittsburgh have another outlet, give them some positive things to do. We've been able to have a summer job program. Like a lot of the things that we had when I was younger, we're doing now. And so
bringing it back.
I think that I'm going to continue to do this, but I'll be going to the Pitt games. I'll be going, checking out a lot of the kids who came through our program. They're playing all over the country. Every day I'm getting a ding on my phone because I'm following them. Yeah. So no matter what school they're at, I get their stats, different things. And with social media, man, you can FaceTime them. You can get the link to their game, throw it on the TV, and then we find them.
Yeah.
So I'm actually in a good space as far as coaching now. So I've been helping a lot of younger coaches who want to be coaches. I've been having them coach. I've been having them work with younger teams, teach them how to watch film, giving them the background of what offense you should run, if it's a 2-3, if it's a 1-3-1, if they doubling. So I'm still able to educate some people and use my basketball knowledge, just using it in a different way now.
Got you. That's awesome. And also, Coach, I've been talking to Smoke for a minute, and also shout out to Mike Wilson. He used to be the baseball coach at Duquesne, but also he played at St. John. He played for St. John's with my dad. So I was a kid with Mike Wilson. I know Mike Wilson my whole life. And so shout out to Coach Mike Wilson. And hopefully me and Smoke are trying to put together a baseball camp, maybe a 1-day training camp in Manchester down the field, and start funneling some of the kids to Mike and Nelson. If they're not already involved, they're involved. But if they're not involved, we want to be able to find the kids that got the talent and the drive on the north side and get them in the Pittsburgh Hardball program and different programs that they're doing.
Well, we had a little league team. My stepson played.
Okay.
It was his first year. It was 9. We only had a couple kids who came back with experience. We grew during the year. We didn't win no games, but we got better and better as the team, and then a lot of the kids are young, so we'll have them coming back. So I agree, we could do something like that. I know I'm gonna be involved.
Definitely.
And I know that Sean Gibson could be involved. I know Nelson and those guys are involved. So it's a lot of people who want to push baseball. It's just we get those kids playing football at such a young age, they can't even reach the mound, and they tackling people and running touchdowns and making TikTok videos.
yeah, that's true, man. But yeah, I'll definitely be in contact with you about that. But hey, gentlemen, check this out. One last time, you hear the sound, that means the game is over, the fourth quarter is over. Dap, you did great, brother. You're an all-around athlete. So, man, you had, 17 home runs during this game. You had 13 threes. You had a couple layups. and you ran for 5 different touchdowns. And you caught one. And you took one back for a pick like prime time, man. So, thank you very much for your time. On the outro, I just got to say one thing. R.I.P. Bob Barker. I used to watch Price is Right all the time, and especially summertime. Me and my brother, we just watch Price is Right, and yeah, man, it's just life is moving, time is moving. I think he lived to be 100 years old.
He was 99. He was 99 when he died.
And all the dudes that been in jail had to wear them Bob Barker slippers. yeah, man. Shout to Bob Barker. Hey, Los, man, you got anything on the outro, bro?
Only thing I'm gonna say in the outro is I'm gonna shout out another one of Dap's homies, and that's Ricky Cannon. That's all. Yep. I know they used to be
Rick.
down there in the duo.
Yeah, we have to get you in contact with Rick. He's down in Maryland right now, so y'all pretty close. I'm sure he would agree to come on here and give some of his knowledge and his experiences that he had.
That'd be dope. What about you, Uncle John? What's going on with you, man? Send us home.
Well, I'm not doing much of anything. Just trying to, just kind of maybe ease my way back into golf.
Yeah.
Like, my situation, but I'm going to make it, I don't care if they got to wheel me out there. I'll still shoot in the 70s on them.
Yeah. Hey, I can't wait to go out there with you so you can give me some tips, man.
Maybe October, because I'm pretty sure we're going to go to Florida. We get together in Florida in October.
I'm gonna definitely play down there. And Dab, do they have the old school O's and them shirts with the face on it? Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I remember.
We got everything. Look, here it go right here. Go the logo.
Oh yeah.
I got it on my shirt.
I gotta get one of those.
I be rocking OZ all the time. My girl be like, "Yeah, not wear OZ one day." I'm like, "No, I got to show everybody."
Hey, look, that's what Wallow said. You got to Wallow and Gilly. They always wearing their gear. You don't wear who won't wear it.
That's right.
Well,
we do T-shirts. I got a press machine down the stairs in the Airbnb. So, man, I pop the heater on. I can make a shirt in 10 seconds.
Wow.
Gotcha.
So if you come over, you come to Pittsburgh, come see me, and then I'll get you a shirt.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to ask you. How can people get in touch with you through social media and all that stuff?
Yeah, my social media is Darelle.Porter on Facebook and Dap2KK on Instagram. But any way that they do, I'm always trying to spread love, and I'm always trying to pay homage to the people who played when those men first started. I saw Dwight Clay. I saw Ricky Coleman. I saw so many people. I saw Petey Gibson. I was giving all them love. Here you go, because they started this stuff back before I was even born.
I want to sneak this in. How good was Sam Clancy? They just gave him a street name or something. How good was Sam Clancy?
Man, Sam was nice, and being that I participate in those, Sam was a college worker. He was our counselor. So when I was coming up, he was the one coaching me. So it was like, man, if you couldn't play hard when you got a college guy coaching you, you didn't really want to do it.
Yeah.
And so, now we're tight. He works at the university. I'll see him on Saturday. We tailgate before the pick games, and he's doing a real good job for the university now.
Awesome. I've been catching him on Instagram. He been getting his flowers, and I love to see it, man. That's awesome.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well,
You mentioned Petey Gibson. We played against each other for the city championship in 1966. We the first high school team to play at the Civic Arena. And we had never played on fiberglass backboards in our life. We had to go to North Hills to play on the fiberglass to practice to go to the Civic Arena. And as you know, too, you sit on that
Darelle
bench.
was on that team.
Oh, yeah, I know Darelle.
Kenny
Yeah,
Darelle. Yeah,
it
these
snowed.
guys need to know.
Oh, yeah, Snowed was on that team, too. They had a whole bunch of them, man. That were, like they won the state championship that year. Good dudes, too. Good dudes, yep.
Man, look, we're getting the Pittsburgh history lesson right here. You might have to rewind it. You might have to rewind it again. But yo, we're gonna get the hell out of here. My name's Jay Sands. That's Los. That's Uncle John, and that's Darelle Porter. This is Sands.
All right, thank that.
And we out of
here. Brother.
Peace.
Keep up that good work, man.